Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to this exciting event. And before we get started, I want to introduce some of our distinguished guests. We have some council members here. We got Tim Garten and Gloria Betcher. I saw Anita here. Is anybody else? Council members? And in case I get things wrong, our city attorney is here too to keep me in line. So I don't know. So anyway. Well, this is an exciting day for us, and the City of Ames is committed to building recreational amenities so all residents can enjoy both indoor and outdoor opportunities for physical activity. And just some examples that we're doing already in Ames includes building our inclusive playground and miracle field, providing universal restrooms, looking for new amenities to add to increase access, and this is just one of those projects. Parks and Recreation also offers scholarship to eliminate financial barriers to participation in programs. I will say that this is a topic of discussion many times during budgeting that's important to us, that everyone can have an opportunity to participate. So with that, I want to just thank everyone who assisted in this project, for all of you for attending, and I'm going to turn this over to the chairperson, of Parks and Recreation Commission, Sarah Cady.
All right, thank you, Mayor Hala. My name is Sarah Cady, and I am the chair of the Parks and Recreation Commission for the last few years. My fellow commission member, Nathan, is over there. So as Mayor Hala mentioned, our goal in the Parks and Recreation Department and on the commission is to make safe and inclusive outdoor spaces that are accessible and enjoyable for as many community members as possible. You know, during this process, being mindful of things like age, ability level, disability status, accommodating families and individuals, athletes, and people who are just recreational enthusiasts. Keeping all those things in mind when we are either upgrading or renovating a facility or considering new amenities in the city. So every year we go through the capital improvements plan process, which that process is starting now. First, we have to consider the maintenance needs of existing amenities within the system. Upgrades, anything along those lines. But through this process, we also take feedback from community members about ideas that they have to make our park system more accessible, more interesting to them and their families. This is one of those projects that we were approached with from community members for the accessible kayak launch. And they went through the CIP process with us. This was a great example of a public-private partnership where a group was able to raise funds through private funds and through local businesses. You know, when we're going through the capital improvements plan process, we plan 5 years in the future, and so some of these projects that are new ideas, maybe they end up, you know, in year 5. But if we have the enthusiasm, if we have the additional funding support, that's when we're able to really get these projects funded and installed a little bit sooner than we would be able to otherwise. So really kudos to them for really advocating for this project, fundraising for this project. You guys did a great job, so well done. You know, overall, we appreciate the enthusiasm and input of community members on a variety of projects. This project really fit the vision of the Parks and Recreation Department, and it really met a need to increase accessibility to our park system. So thank you all for being here today. Next is Jim Pease from, I've got a, exciting. I got a little friend. Jim Pease here from the Friends of Ada Hayden Heritage Park.
Thanks, Sarah. I am president of the Friends of Ada Hayden Heritage Park, and we've been doing a lot of things out here at the park over the last 20 years. And I don't want to introduce all the board members, but we have a number of our board members here. Would you guys raise your hands, please, and gals? So we have a bunch of board members here. It's great. It's a very hard-working group, and we've been. This park is certainly our the lifeblood that we work on. And we're really happy to be able to partner with a lot of people on this project, particularly Access Ada Hayden, the Skunk River Paddlers, the Outdoor Alliance of Story County, and certainly the City of Ames and Parks and Recreation. We're really, really happy to have done that. And who else?
To acknowledge the Story County Community Foundation.
Fine. We'll acknowledge the Story County Community Foundation as well. So thank you. We're very happy to, yes. Very happy to work with those partners. And we have some donors here that were particularly big donors for us, enabled us to contribute over $13,000 from the Friends to this project. And one, I want you to raise your hand, Trudy Dirks back here. She and family and friends contributed a sizable amount to this project in memory of Kermit, her husband. And we also have here Bill Gutowski. Bill contributed quite a sizable chunk of change for us, which really has helped this become a reality. Bill's going to talk 20 minutes or so, you said, Bill, about his wife, Margaret, who enjoyed this park.
Thank you, Jim. I asked him if I could have 20 minutes. I could go on and on about my late wife, Margaret, also known as Meg, just loved walking through Ada Hayden Park, all hours of the day, all sorts of weather. Really thanks to the generosity of family and friends. In addition, we were able to get a bench for her up on the Upland Trail where she just really loved walking. And even as her health deteriorated, she still enjoyed coming here walking as much as she could. I know that right now she's smiling down on all of us, just so happy to see that all this effort that's being made to make this park even more accessible to more people around here. It's a great facility. It's a real treasure for the City of Ames. And I have to thank all our friends and family really for help contributing to this. How much more minute? No. I would say she was a great seamstress and she made this wonderful shirt.
All right. Can I get it over? Oh, Dave's coming over. This is the real brains behind the outfit, and the idea for this doc really came from David. So he's going to talk a little bit about this, and then after Keith talks, you're going to actually go in, not into the water, but into the boat. Right?
I will demonstrate. Actually, this was not my idea. Actually, I think it was back in 2019. Jeff White approached me from the Skunk River Paddlers and asked me what I thought about this idea. And I thought, it's really a great idea. That'd be a great asset to Ames. And so back in 2019, we got together and formed Access Ada Hayden. And with help of community members and the Skunk River Paddlers, we set out to I went out to Ohio, which was at that time the closest dock of this type, to see that this would be appropriate for this area, and tested it out there, and then we did the matching funds and raised up to over $35,000 to get this going, and we found a great partner in Parks and Rec, and Keith Abraham, really supporting this project. So really appreciated that. And then all the donors that Jim mentioned, certainly the Ada Hayden Group and the Outdoor Alliance of Story County, Skunk River Paddlers, the Story County Community Foundation? Gotcha, okay. And Chris White did some great writing for grants for us too. And DNR, and probably lots of other people I'm not mentioning. So, yeah. And what's important about this is that it's not just for a guy in a wheelchair to use; it's for everyone. Getting in and out of a kayak is really what people have the most anxiety about. So this stabilizes your kayak, and a wide variety of people can use it, from people who are just starting out in the sport to people like me that have more physical limitations. So I think it's a great asset for everyone in the community. Thank you all for being here. Great to see you all.
So lots of people use this park and other Ames parks, and we're thankful for all of you who are users of Ada Hayden Heritage Park, and want to introduce the person who's in charge of all of the Ames Park and Recreation, Keith Abraham.
All right, thank you, Jim. And thanks, David, and thanks, Sarah, and thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Bill, for all those comments. I was just telling the mayor, I got like a whole page of stuff I was going to go through, but everybody kind of covered just about everything, that I had on here. But I do just want to reemphasize that as Parks and Recreation, we continue to seek ways to expand our parks, facilities, and programs, and we encourage all of our residents, all of our users to explore our offerings and come up with new ideas and bring those to us. And that's exactly what happened today. We're also about building partnerships and enhancing our partnerships that we have. And you've heard already, so I'm not going to reiterate it, but you've heard already all the different groups that were involved with this project and brought it forward. And one of the things with it is occasionally you do a project, and we do a lot of them, and you get positive comments, but the comments that you hear that I have heard in regards to this project, people are now able to experience something and be able to do something that they haven't been able to do for a while or have never been able to do. And when you hear comments like that, it just makes us feel good, makes me feel good, and I think everybody that's involved, that was the goal and the hope of bringing this project to fruition. I will have to say that I did speak with somebody earlier today, and they're on the flip side, and said, since I retired, I love going to Ada Hayden, and I read books. And one of the things when I'm reading books that provides me joy is watching people trying to get into their kayak and tipping over. So you have taken that away from me, Keith, and that's the only negative comment that I've heard about this about this project. There have been a lot of thank yous, and I'm just going to try to hit on some of them, and some of them will be a little bit repetitive because they deserve to be mentioned several times. So again, Access Ada Hayden and everybody that was involved with that, and the willingness. Sometimes we have groups that come forward and say, we want this, you pay for it. And we said, hey, are you willing to help raise funds? And they, without a beat, said, yes, we are. And so thank you to Access Ada Hayden and everybody that was involved and all the groups that have been mentioned prior to that. We always enjoy working with the Friends of Ada Hayden. They are this park is really what it is because of what they do and the guidance that they provide for us. Now, see, I do have Iowa DNR. I know you mentioned that earlier. You threw that out. So Iowa DNR for awarding grant money to help with this project. And I know there's other things that the DNR helps us with and across the community. And also I'd like to say, and David mentioned it, but again, Jeff and Chris White for working on the application, and it was real easy. They just gave it to me, a couple of tweaks, and send it off, and that's a good thing. The mayor, city council, Parks and Recreation Commission, city manager's office for always the support that you provide for Parks and Recreation, the ideas, and most importantly the funding and helping us with that vision.
I've been down, but
Yeah. I also want to mention Snyder Associates, who helped with the site plan and the design. Board Safe, who designs and makes the launch. Their technical expertise. There are times Joshua Thompson, our Parks and Facility Superintendent, would get on the phone and have conversations. and also with getting us the right pieces of equipment. And then for our staff, working out the details of this project. I already mentioned, Joshua, and for our staff, getting the launch installed once it got here. And then also, I know when we're up here, there's a lot of people that are involved in this project, whether it was involvement, whether it was selling raffle tickets, and thank you to Jack's Outdoor Gear for helping with the raffle as part of the Access Ada Hayden. So thank you to everybody, and let's give everybody a big round of applause, for that. Okay. So with that, what we'd like to do is we do the ribbon cutting, and if we can get, if you've been part of this project in some way, feel free to come up and help hold the ribbon, be in the picture. But we're going to have David here. We'll give him the scissors today. I hope you don't mind, Mayor. And give him the scissors. We'll do the ribbon cutting, and then David's going to go down and show us how this whole thing works if you haven't seen it before.